Hello and welcome back. This is the epilogue for my 31 Days of Horror. If you follow my channel and you know what happened, at one point when I was doing my 31 Days of Horror, I lost my voice. I touched on it briefly, but it got to the point where I really couldn't talk without it hurting really bad. So I decided to put the videos off a little bit, and because I did that, they got put off. I recorded the episodes the moment I could, but I just got distracted with life and I never got a chance to edit them for a couple months. And for that I apologize. I want to put out reliable content. I want to build a schedule, and I'm working more towards doing that in the future. Matter of fact, I've learned a lot from this 31 Days of Horror, so when I do it next year, I know what to do, because I made a little bit of mistakes while doing this. It was just a spur of the moment kind of like, hey, I've always wanted to do this, I'm going to do it, and it was a lot harder than I thought it was. I originally got my inspirations from Chuck from Watercolor Pictures or Watercolor Films, I don't know. I'll put a link to his channel below so you can check him out. He has got a great selection. He does his 31 horror movies in 31 days. And my stuff is very reminiscent of that. But it's really good. I suggest you check out his channel. It was what inspired me to do this. My 31 Days of Horror for 2014 will be much improved over this last season of it, because now I know what I'm doing. I'm not just going off spur of the moment. I'm going to try to get these done at least 10 episodes at a time. What I was doing before was I was watching the movie, then editing the film. Than editing the episode. Watching the movie, it's daily doing that, and you can tell that I had to sacrifice quality in order to get these things out, because a lot of the time I really just didn't have any time to edit them. And that's going to be improved on within the next season, but this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed your feedback. Unfortunately, for a time I couldn't reply to your comments because of the Google Plus bullcrap, but it was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing this again. This has led to me improving my video quality overall. You're going to see in 2014 a lot of my videos are going to be better because of this little experiment I did in October. But this was something I wanted to do after the videos were over. I wanted to do an epilogue. I just wanted to recap on all the videos I reviewed and just give my thoughts on it. So here we go. Let's get this started. Day number 1, Night of the Living Dead from 1968. This is a movie I can rewatch every once in a while and just really fully enjoy. Sure, it has its problems, which people no doubt go on about, but it was really one of the first modern zombie movies, and it's something that I really enjoy. Day 2, the Night of the Living Dead remake from 1990. This is by far one of the best horror remakes I've ever seen. There was a level of care that's just apparent in every scene of the film, and it's really good, and I always recommend it to everybody. Day 3, Night of the Living Dead 3D from 2006. One of the worst movies I've ever seen. I've never forgotten how bad this movie is. It's always with me. I just think about it sometimes. I was like, man, that was a bad movie. Why did I watch that? It was one of the few movies this year that really anger me too. Day number 4, Night of the Living Dead 3D Reanimation. The sequel to the film that really pissed me off actually left me pretty satisfied. I really enjoyed this movie on a bad movie level. It was really funny. Jeffrey Combs was great. It was just a funny movie. It was so bad it was good, which is very weird considering it was a sequel to a movie I just absolutely despised. Day number 5, Night of the Living Dead Resurrection. Have you ever noticed that Resurrection is just kind of one of those titles that people throw in there? It's always kind of irritating to me when I see Resurrection in the title. I'm like, what? Is this a sequel? What is this? I don't know. This movie, I remember it had good points in it, and it did represent the original more than a lot of the other ones, but it really just didn't work because of how low budget it was. So the low budget added a quality that was admirable, and it also took away from the film, and it would not be something I would suggest to anyone else. Day 6, Mimesis, Night of the Living Dead. Now, this technically wasn't a zombie movie, but I picked it out because I thought it was, and it left me really satisfied. I really liked this movie, and I thought, you know what, I'll bend the rules a little bit, and I'll review it, because I really I think people should see it. It's a pretty fun little movie, and I like it. Day 7, Dawn of the Dead from 1978, the original. This is a superb film from George A. Romero. It has a lot of themes that not a lot of other films really touch on, at least not as well. It's a very good zombie movie, and on top of that, it's much more clever than any zombie movie should be. Day 8, The Dawn of the Dead remake from 2004. I personally don't like this movie. I never have. I never will. But I understand there's a lot of people who do enjoy it. It's just a little too flashy for me, and it's a little too stupid. And that's how I feel about most Zack Snyder films. Day 9, Day of the Dead from 1985. This is my personal favorite film from George A. Romero. I really enjoy it. I love it. It's a movie that I can literally watch again and again. It's very weird how I seem to like this one more. I'm more of an 80s person. I really like movies from that period of time, and that may have something to do with it. But I like this movie, and I suggest you see it. If you haven't already seen my review, check it out. Day 10, Day of the Dead 2, Contagion from 2005. This movie is really bad. I honestly, I don't remember anything else besides that. I just know it was from the same people who made Creepshow 3, and that's not a good sign. Day of the Dead, the remake. This one had the potential to be really, really good, but unfortunately, I just really didn't like it. It had some of the same faults I had with the Dawn of the Dead remake, but a little bit more exaggerated. It's a good looking movie, but I just didn't like it. Land of the Dead from 2005. I think this is the last good zombie movie from George Romero. I really personally enjoy this film. It was very weird because when I first saw it, I didn't like it. But years later, I found that I enjoyed it, and I don't know why I didn't like it at the beginning. Sure, there's problems with it, but overall, it's a decent movie. Diary of the Dead from 2008. This movie aggravated me. Not enough to piss me off, but enough to just annoy me. There's something about this movie. I've discovered from a lot of people I've talked to, this movie just has something about it that makes people upset. And not like an upsetting way as a horror movie really should make you feel, but it makes you upset and like you're just agitated from watching it. And I'm very glad to hear that I'm not the only one who felt this way while watching the movie. Survival of the Dead from 2009. I really wish I could have liked this movie. There was just a lot of problems with it. I think if there was a little bit more time put into the script, it could have been a very interesting film, and maybe George A. Romero could have made a comeback with it. But unfortunately, there was just a lot of problems with it that I just couldn't overcome. Return of the Living Dead from 1985. This was a movie I was waiting to see for a long time, and I finally saw it, and you know what? I really enjoyed it. It was a great departure from the zombie movies I watched previous to it, and it was just overall fun. It was funny, it was scary, it had great effects. Overall, a very good movie. Return of the Living Dead Part 2 from 1988. Sadly, this movie just really didn't kick it with me. I didn't like it that much. It was basically a shot-for-shot remake of the first one, but just dull. And it pains me to say that, but I really didn't care for it. Day 17, Return of the Living Dead 3 from 1990. This one had its ups and downs. It had some good moments and it had some bad moments. Overall, I wouldn't recommend this movie to anybody. Day 18, Return of the Living Dead, Necropolis. I don't know how you say that. Anyways, it's a bad movie. Don't watch it. I don't want to spend any more time explaining that. Day 19, Return of the Living Dead, Rave to the Grave. This movie is awful. Enough said. Day 20. Zombie 2, aka Zombie Flesh Eaters, aka too many titles to go through. This was a superb film. I was very much taken by surprise. I just kind of watched this one on a whim, and it left me extremely satisfied. If you have not seen Zombie 2, also known as Zombie, find it and watch it. It's very good. I highly recommend it. Out of all the films that are not, well known on here, I would recommend Zombie 2. Day 21. Zombie 3, aka Zombie 2, aka Zombie Flesh Eaters 3. It's weird. I remember watching this one because it felt like it was two movies squished together. And I later found out it was because they hired another director who had a different vision, and that's why the film feels like it's two movies squished together. Overall, not a good movie, and I would say avoid. Zombie 4, After Death, aka too many titles to go through. This one is bad. Avoid it. Day 23, Zombie 5, Killing Birds. A movie that contains no zombies and no killing birds. And, it's bad. Don't watch this movie. Day 24, Flight of the Living Dead from 2007. I remember not really liking this movie when I watched it, but as I grew more apart from it, I kind of liked it a little bit. One thing that really sticks to mind is this actress. I even said it in the review, this is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. And thanks to this review, I now have this as my desktop background. Shaun of the Dead from 2004. I think everyone's heard of this movie, and I don't think you can find someone who would say it was bad. I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there, but everyone says it's good, and ultimately I kind of wish I didn't review it, because I wish I found a different movie that less people knew about, because everyone knows that Shaun of the Dead is good. Day 26, Undead from 2003. Kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I always enjoy this movie, and I recommend it to people who like Dead Alive and things like that. Day 27, speaking of Dead Alive, I reviewed it the next day, and it's good. It's a very good movie. I'm surprised at the amount of people who have never seen it. I always thought this was a movie that's like everyone knows about, but apparently not. It's a great movie. I would really recommend checking it out. It's really funny, very gory, great effects. Peter Jackson at his best when he was doing the splatter stuff. Day 28, A Cadaver Christmas from 2012. I really enjoy this movie. I know it's not a good movie. It's like Undead, it's a guilty pleasure. Check it out if you're interested. If you're not, don't bother. Day 29, White Zombie from 1931. The movie, not the band. This is a great movie. I mainly brought it up because there's a lot of people that really argue about whether or not Night of the Living Dead is actually the first zombie movie. I would consider Night of the Living Dead the first modern zombie movie, because the zombies in White Zombies are really not zombies by our standards. It's a good movie for the time. I really enjoy it. You can tell it's right there at the beginning of Sound Picture. I like it. It's not for everyone though, so do your research before you watch it. Day 30, Plague of the Zombies from 1966. I was originally going to review Warm Bodies this day, but I was having such a bad time. I watched so many bad zombie movies. I just wanted something good. And I trusted Hammer Horror with a good zombie movie, and that's what they delivered. This was an excellent example of Hammer Horror. Not one of their best, but a very good addition into their filmography. I like it. I recommend it if you like zombie movies and or Hammer Horror. Day 31, World War Z from 2013. I didn't like this movie. I said in the review that I would probably maybe like it someday in the future. I don't know about that. But you know what? It's got great production values. It's got decent acting, good special effects. Unfortunately, it's just kind of dumb. I don't know. I don't feel that zombies are something that transfer into mainstream media that well. I mean, like, you can have a multi-million-dollar budget, but you're telling a very small story. I don't care if you're talking about something that takes place nationwide, worldwide. It's still a very small story and didn't need the amount of money that was put into it. Well, that's the epilogue. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I explained myself a little bit. I had a lot of technical issues with this series, and the next series I do for 31 Days of Horror they will be corrected. I will not make the same mistakes. I'll make new ones. I'm just kidding. Anyways, it was a lot of fun. I thank you for your support. It really meant a lot. I got a lot of subscribers out of doing that. I wasn't expecting that. I just thought people would ignore them. I honestly thought I'd maybe get like 10 views per video, which is less than I normally get, but that's what I thought because I'd be putting out content every day. And in fact, the opposite happened. I got more views, and I wasn't expecting that. And you know what? I'm not going to bleed that concept dry. I know a lot of people like on YouTube, they find something that works, and then they'll just keep on doing it without improving quality. They'll just keep on doing one thing. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to find my own thing. I've been trying to find my own thing for 3 years. I think I'm discovering it now, thanks to this series, thanks to other things as well. But it was a lot of fun, even with the problems, and I thank you for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, share if you like. Won't hurt you. That's it. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.